When James Stewart encountered outlaws, instead of drawing a gun, he opened the book in his hand. The page inside was powerful enough to bring the gang leader to his knees. The town of Millfield was expecting a new sheriff in the summer of 1887. The old sheriff, McCready, had been killed by outlaws. The townspeople were looking for a tough, experienced gunman. But the man who came was not what they expected at all. James Stewart was 38 years old, tall but lean-built. His hair was brown, his eyes blue with a boyish expression on his face. Most importantly, he wasn't wearing a gun. "Excuse me," said Mayor Wilson. "Are you really the sheriff?" Stewart smiled. "Yes, sir. James Stewart, from Pennsylvania." "But where's your gun?" Stewart showed his leather bag. "These are my weapons." Wilson looked in the bag. It contained books, papers, pencils. "Mr. Stewart," said Wilson anxiously, "this town has an outlaw problem. Problems that need to be solved with guns." "Not every problem is solved with guns, Mr. Wilson," said Stewart calmly. "Sometimes the most powerful weapon is knowledge." Stewart organized the sheriff's office. He put the old sheriff's guns in a closet. He filled his desk with books. He hung maps, law books, and strange diagrams on the walls. The townspeople were curious but skeptical. "How is this man going to protect us?" asked Butcher Miller. "Is he going to fight with books?" mocked Barber Thompson. But Stewart didn't care. He spent his first days getting to know the town. He visited every shop, talked to everyone, took notes. "What are you doing?" asked Grocer Hannah. "Research," said Stewart. "To protect a town, you first need to know it." "How will you get to know the outlaws?" Stewart smiled. "I'll get to know them too." On the third day, 3 outlaws came to town, members of Black Pete's gang. They entered the town's saloon, drank, and caused trouble. "Call the sheriff!" shouted bartender Joe. When Stewart appeared at the saloon, everyone was surprised. He had no gun. He only had a book in his hand. "Gentlemen," said Stewart calmly, "I'm asking you to leave town." The outlaws laughed. "Who are you, boy?" mocked the biggest one. "Are you the sheriff?" "Yes, and you're engaging in illegal activity." "Illegal?" The outlaw moved his hand to his gun. "What are you going to do? Hit us with your book?" Stewart opened his book. "That won't be necessary." He pulled out a page from the book and showed it to the outlaw. The man's face changed. He turned pale. His eyes opened wide. Where did you find this?" "Research," said Stewart. "Jake Morrison, that's your real name, isn't it? Wanted man from Dallas for killing your wife." Jake staggered backward. This isn't possible." "It is possible, and right now the local sheriff is offering a $500 reward to catch you." Stewart turned to the other 2 outlaws. "Tom Brady," he said to the second one. "Wanted in Phoenix for horse theft. $300 reward." Then to the third, "And you, Charlie Holt. Bank robbery, New Mexico, $200. The 3 outlaws looked at each other. They were terrified. How do you know?" asked Tom. Stewart pulled out other pages from his book. Telegraph records, newspaper reports, sheriff reports. "I learned you were coming to town before I arrived." "How?" "Jake, last week when you were drinking in Fairview, you said, 'We're going to Millfield.'" The bartender heard it and informed the sheriff. The sheriff notified me by telegraph. Jake's hand was trembling. "Are you going to arrest us?" "That's your choice," said Stewart. "Either you leave our town right now and never come back, or I arrest you and send you to the places where you're wanted." If we leave, then this conversation never happened. The three outlaws left town, but 2 days later the real problem arrived. Black Pete himself came to town with 5 more men, all armed, all dangerous. "Where is this sheriff?" shouted Black Pete on Main Street. Stewart came out of his office, again unarmed, again with a book in his hand. "I'm here," Black Pete laughed. You scared my men?" "I didn't scare them, I just told them the truth." "What truths?" Stewart opened his book. "Peter McBride. That's your real name. From Colorado Springs. You worked as a banker." Black Pete's smile froze. "Continue," said Stewart. "Your wife Sarah, your son Michael, 7 years old, they still live in Colorado." "Shut up. Sarah thinks you're dead. Your son is growing up thinking his father is dead. Every month his mother goes to the cemetery and leaves flowers in your name." Black Pete's face was changing. His men looked at him in confusion. "How did you find out?" asked Pete. "After the bank robbery, you ran away," said Stewart. "But your wife thought you were dead because there was blood on your clothes. Not your blood, the security guard's blood." Stewart opened another page. "Sarah now works at a tailor shop to feed your son. She's in very difficult circumstances." Pete's eyes were filling with tears. How is she?" "Sick, lung disease. Doctor's fees are very high. Your son Michael works after school. He shines shoes." Pete's gun was trembling in his hand. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because," said Stewart, "you're not a bad man, Peter. You just made a wrong choice, and that choice destroyed your family." "What do you want from me?" asked Pete. Stewart opened the last page. "This is Sarah's hospital bill, $200, money they couldn't pay. And if you want, I can arrest you and send you to Denver. There's a bounty on your head, $500. That money can be given to Sarah." Pete was surprised. You'll arrest me and give the reward to my wife?" "If you agree." Pete looked at his men. They were also confused. "But why?" Stewart closed the book. "Because, Peter, you were a good man before you became an outlaw. A good husband, a good father. That man is still inside you." Pete's gun fell to the ground. His men lowered their weapons. If I see Sarah, what will I tell her?" "The truth, that you're sorry and that you'll change now." Pete turned to his men. "Boys, the gang is disbanding. Enough is enough." "But boss," said one, "we were making good money." "At what cost?" "I lost my family. My son is growing up without a father. This money isn't worth it." Pete turned to Stewart. "I accept. Arrest me." Stewart shook his head. "You're surrendering yourself. That's more honorable." Pete smiled. "Thank you, Sheriff. You're different. We're all different, Peter. We just need to make the right choice." Pete and his men surrendered peacefully. Stewart took them to Denver. He collected the reward money. When he returned to town, everyone was curious. "Sheriff," said Mayor Wilson, "how did you defeat the outlaws?" "Not a single shot was fired." Stewart smiled. "Guns only kill the body, but knowledge changes the heart." "But how did you know them?" "Research. Every outlaw has a story, a family, a past. If you find that story, you understand them." Butcher Miller asked, "But what if other outlaws come?" "I'll research them too, and find the right approach." 6 months later, a visitor came to town, a clean-dressed, respectful-looking man. "I'm looking for Sheriff Stewart," he said. Stewart recognized the man. It was Peter McBride, former Black Pete. "Peter, how are you?" "Very well, Sheriff. I got out of prison. They released me early for good behavior." "Great. How's your family?" Peter's eyes sparkled. Sarah recovered. Michael is growing up, going to school, and I have an honest job now. What work do you do? Bank clerk. I returned to my old job. Ironic, isn't it? Stewart laughed. The best kind of irony. Peter gave Stewart an envelope. This is for you. What is it? A letter from Sarah, and a small gift. The envelope contained Sarah's thank you letter and $50. Sarah insisted, said Peter, for saving our lives. Stewart tried to return the money. It's not necessary, Peter. Please accept it. This money is a symbol of our gratitude. Years passed. Stewart's method became famous. Now not only Millfield, but surrounding towns were dealing with outlaws using his method. Young sheriffs visited Stewart. Sheriff, teach us your secret. Stewart would show his office library. Here's the secret: knowledge, research, and most importantly, empathy. Empathy? Yes, every criminal has a story. If you understand that story, you can change them. A young sheriff asked, but what about outlaws who don't want to change? Stewart smiled. Then you get to know them too, and you make plans accordingly. But violence should always be the last resort. Millfield was now one of the safest towns. Because outlaws knew Stewart didn't just catch them, he also changed them, and the townspeople understood. The most powerful weapon was understanding and compassion. When Stewart retired, the town erected a monument to him. It read, James Stewart, the unarmed sheriff, conquered hearts with books, turned enemies into friends. And around the monument was a small library filled with books. Because Stewart had taught them, true power lay in knowledge and understanding.